Welcome to the Keys to AWS Optimization Halloween episode. Woo, woo!
That was actually creepier than I expected.
I'm so sorry. I'm like, oh, my hood. Hello, Savannah. How's it going?
Hello, Steph. I'm doing well. How are you? I'm
I'm
excited
good.
for Halloween.
Happy Halloween! Well, almost Halloween. Yeah, we've kicked into the spirit. We're dressed up. Throughout, I'm going to be asking people to put in the chat who are we dressed as. Wrong answers only. So we'll come back to that.
Wrong answers only, everyone.
Yeah, it's quite obvious, I'm hoping. But yeah, super excited to jump into some stuff. We're going to be doing a fun, specific episode today where we're going to be doing an account exorcism. So we're going to be diving into a specific Amazon account that we've set up with a lot of terrible setups and how to optimize them. So stick around to see how you can save money in your own accounts. Oh yeah. All right. So, but yeah, Savannah, any fun Halloween anecdotes or things you want to share before we start?
Well, I get pretty excited about Halloween. I don't know if you could notice or tell. But we're pretty stoked this year. Got some matching costumes planned, going to some Halloween parties. Time to get spooky. I feel like Halloween got kind of nerfed during the pandemic, and it's finally like back in full swing. So I'm excited to eat too much candy and dress up in funny outfits. Two of my favorite things to do.
Love
How
it.
about you?
I'm jealous. I mean, I've got some small bits and bobs. I'm going to Comic-Con at the weekend with my friend. And then I'm watching a live comedy show by the Trusty Hogs podcast, if anyone's a fan, of that they're going to be doing on Halloween. So it's going to be a spooky episode. So I might reuse this costume or dig out another one. But let's get into the show. So welcome everyone to the Keys to AWS Optimization, the show where we share stories, concepts, and solutions to help you unlock your spend at AWS. My name is Steph Gooch, and I'm a Senior Optimization Architect at AWS. Savannah?
My name is Savannah Jensen, and I am a Senior FinOps Success Manager at AWS. And today we are going to be looking at something super spooky, which is an AWS account that's overspending. Truly my nightmare.
The horror.
The horror.
Awesome. And as a reminder, if you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if any questions after today's episode, maybe even to clarify what our outfits are, then email costoptimization@amazon.com. Awesome. Okay, so we've got some people in the chat. Say hi in the chat. We'd love to know. We're just saying wrong answers only. Who are we dressed as? I have some nice branding, a little bit. Savannah's got an amazing wig on. So any suggestions in the chat, let us know. But before we kick into our specific bad optimization topic, we wanted to just shout out the great news that AWS has joined the FinOps Foundation. Finally.
Woohoo!
Exciting.
This was such an exciting announcement to see.
Yeah, and we committed to talking about it in this episode, even though we're dressed it like this. So just to like update everyone, that's an exciting piece of news. I've linked in the chat the blog post all about it. But next year we'll be chatting to the people from FinOps Foundation a bit more about it, and we'll be kind of sharing some stories and things like that. So, and also hopefully talking to them about what will be happening when how we work together. What's wrong? Why are you putting a face?
Just something weird happened. I don't know.
Oh, did you glitch? Anyway. Okay, right. So let's have a look at this account. So the idea, as we said, we're going to jump in and talk about this optimization account. So let me share my screen. And so here we have a classic account that started spending too much money.
It's going up. Don't like that.
Going up. Do you deal with this kind of stuff all the day? What would be the first thing you would kind of do in this situation if you got to a customer and they were like, I'm spending too much? How would you start?
Yeah. So for this one specifically, obviously, if a customer is saying that they're going to investigate their spend or they feel like they're spending too much, the first thing to do is look at it. We are already doing that because we have Cost Explorer up. For a pattern like this, where it's kind of like a gradual, usually I would start by grouping by service. If there's one big spike, however, I would usually group by charge type because that's going to tell you a little bit more about what's going on.
Oh, that's a good point. So
Oh,
I can see what's
okay.
going on. Do you know? Oh, it's not in this account. In one of my other accounts, I think I told this story recently. I did have a big spike, and it was like a specific service I'd enabled, and it was on the first day of the month. So if you, like I've said, if you do have that, like that's something that's probably a monthly fee that maybe you weren't expecting, or you've enabled something, or some kind of savings plan maybe even comes in the first month normally, doesn't it? So
Recurring RI payment, any sort of upfront purchase, marketplace, lots of stuff. Yeah.
So we've got a couple of different services here. So Savannah, what should we look at? What do you think we should dive into?
That CloudTrail spend is looking super haunted. I think we should look at that one first. What's he doing there?
I mean, and
What's he
that's
doing?
actually looking, if I zoom in a little bit, that's the biggest spend on my account, which I was actually surprised by that I did this. And we were talking about it before. And so with CloudTrail, I'll kind of show you where I'm coming from. So what's caused this spend specifically? So I might as well filter on CloudTrail. And
then, so is this just one AWS account? Or are you at a payer level looking at multiple
just
accounts?
one. It's just a linked account.
Easy.
And let's go for
just group by usage type real quick.
Yeah. So it's just one type. Do you know what that is?
It's the events that you're tracking. Sorry, the text is actually quite small.
When you share screen, it's actually tiny. Yes, events. So if I actually go on my CloudTrails, classic me, what I can see is
make sure you're in the right region. Okay, you are.
Yeah. Checking my region scope. I have actually 3 trails. So people in the chat, does anyone know what happens when you have like how many trails do you get free? That's a good question. Chat. Any ideas? I'm sure we've got some optics people watching that might be able to help us. Any chat?
Pop quiz, guys.
Pop quiz. How many? We'll see. But yeah, so this means that I've got multiple trails, means I've actually got multiple copies of the same data. Yes, target practice, got it in one. Yeah, so you get one free trail. IT management events free. Yes, so the first management event is free, the first trail. With all just standard practice, because we want you to audit your accounts. We want you to make sure things are okay and checking in on it. So we give it to you free. However, any duplicates you pay for, which is the same data. Now, so for example,
Steph, I don't know if you've counted on the screen, but you got 2 duplicates on there. I think that might be a problem.
2 duplicates. Oh, thank you. Thanks for checking.
So I'm really good at counting.
I clearly am not. So I one cloud. Oh, someone's put one CloudTrail. It was free candy. It does not equal free candy. Oh dear. True. No candy for this person. So when you have multiple CloudTrails, like I said, you're paying for them. What you can see here is that one of these is an organizational trail. So that means that somebody in the CCOE probably, or a security team, has said, okay, we need a CloudTrail in every account. Let me enable my organization covered. We've got tracking for everything. But then somebody else, like a developer, has said, oh, I think I need CloudTrail in my account. I'm just going to add one. And they will add their own trail without really thinking that it's the same set of data. Now, before any devs come for me, I do know that if I now try and click on my organization trail, it won't let me access it because this is a bucket in the organization account. So fair enough, I can't query that exact data, but you can still see all the insights in event history. So it depends what you're doing, it depends what you're tracking, but in all honesty, you don't necessarily need multiple trails, because when you do have these multiple trails, as you've seen, the costs start to spiral. So go check your trails.
Have you seen anybody do pretty creative things with moving that CloudTrail data around by chance? I feel like I've heard of a couple customers who just have one at the management account and like parse it up or parse up the data set and distribute it to people who need it.
Yeah, so what can happen is you could put it into a bucket, and then you could replicate that bucket. That's a simple way of doing it. You can also run Athena over it. So if you wanted to run any reports and then segregate them out to different accounts, you could do that. I think that it depends on why you've made it. So I speak of experience, this one, all the time, which is we had like a organizational trail in my account, and everyone had it. And then we didn't know that it costs money to have multiple trails. So we had an audit module, which made another trail. And then we had a code that was deployed on each one for tracking that made another trail. So there were reasons why they were there.
I feel like I'm in the Saw bathroom hearing about that. Oh my gosh.
The amount of Saw chat that we've had. Never seen a Saw film, but me and Savannah have talked about it for like an hour. And we so it meant that we had 3, and then it wasn't till later when I was looking at our spend and I was like, oh, I thought CloudShare was free. awkward.
Well,
so yeah, that's not it, definitely.
It's the importance of cost visibility so that you know that stuff. I've also had a couple customers set up a budget to monitor for any CloudTrail spend, so that if anybody does something clever like that, they like immediately get notified, which highly recommend. I think cost anomaly detection would fix it too, but budget is just like super easy. You can do the $0 budget.
Yeah, budget, shout out, do the budgets. Oh, hi. Just welcome in the chat. Hello, how's it going? Hope everyone's good. Oh, we've got a very technical cost optimization question. What's more powerful when you identify optimization opportunities, the One Ring or the Elder one? I have a wand here, so I'm gonna say optimizing this.
I mean, I feel like there is an actual answer to that, and it is going to depend on whether or not the Elder Ring recognizes you as like its master / owner, right? Like if you've gotten it in battle,
just bind them to the Elder Ring.
Oh, sorry. Elder what? If it doesn't recognize you as its like wand master or whatever, it doesn't work.
That's true. That's true. If you're the account master. Are you both from Britain? I am. I'm
not.
Sana's not. She's very American. But yes, I am English. So, and I obviously did go to Hogwarts. I actually stole this Gryffindor outfit. I'm actually a Hufflepuff, so it's actually treason that I'm wearing this. But don't tell anyone. My friends will have me for being in the wrong house. Okay. All right. While we've got some chat going, let's jump to a poll. As you can tell, guys, this episode is going to be a bit of fun. So just go with us for it. Okay. So our first question is, if I can make it work, trick or treat. Very simple. Put 1 in the chat for trick, 2 for treat. What do you prefer, Halloween people? Are you a trick or are you treaters? Did you egg someone's house, or did you want to get some candy? Is that actually a thing? Do people like egg people's houses?
I feel like it's a very 80s thing. Like it seems like something that probably happened way back when, but usually is not really common practice. I mean,
right.
Egging someone's house is quite rude. I feel like maybe TPing their house is a little bit okay, or like more okay. That probably happens more than the egg situation. Also, aren't eggs like $6 a dozen now?
Do you remember when everyone was like
financially viable?
Taylor Swift has got to get the eggs to become cheaper.
Right. Yes.
I think that was a thing. Okay, so we're having a trick. Oh, I love how that's small thing. I feel like we should have prepared tricks to join into it, but we did not. So tricks. Everyone here are tricksters. Good to know. Sneaky people out in the audience.
Trick. Okay. Deploy a 4th CloudTrail.
Should I go do that now? I love it. Thank you so much for joining in the chat, everybody. Enjoying it. Okay, I love the passion from Target Practice. Trick! Okay. So I'm going to go back to our share screen so you can see my my lovely spend. Apply. Let's share the screen. Okay, Savannah. Choose a different service. What do you want to look at?
Let's do CloudWatch. That's a funny one that I feel like people have a lot of questions about.
Yes, I do love chatting about CloudWatch, but I also do love chatting about Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings. Oh, I didn't put a poll for that. Oh God, we'll see if I could get it out. I'll do it later. Great question. Obviously Harry Potter.
I think I can marathon Lord of the Rings movies more without being annoying.
Without being annoying.
I've read the Harry Potter so many times. I get so pedantic about the movies and how they're different.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Is it terrible to admit that I don't think I've actually seen all of the all the Hobbit, of all the Lord of the Rings Hobbit.
Oh my god.
It's
All
terrible.
right, I'm not gonna touch that one right now.
Let's
look at Cloud Watch.
Let's watch them.
Let's look at Cloud Watch.
Imagine if I was like, I haven't seen the Harry Potters, but I'm obsessed. No, okay. Sorry, back to CloudWatch. CloudWatch. Okay, so CloudWatch. One of my big things is with CloudWatch. So let's do what we said we did before. So that was filtering by CloudWatch to figure out where this spend is coming from, and then we'll do what Savannah said last time, which is go to usage type. So monitoring, got a load of monitoring costs. So my account is a bit weird. So I'm going to come out of this and just go to CloudWatch because my account isn't necessarily reflective of an actual account. So normally we see, I mean, do you ever look at CloudWatch spend a lot and see what people are spending money on?
Yep.
What are some of the things that pop up the most when it comes to their spend?
It's always kind of like a nice surprise in terms of a quick win anyway, when it's mostly storage, because then you can just move them or delete them. But it can really depend. That's the one that I had to investigate most recently. It was a ton of storage. And I was like, oh, easy. just fix it.
Just fix it, just delete it. That is a good shout. So there's a couple of different ones that we look at a lot. The ones that I always see are processing. So if you see anything processing, it's normally about the charge that you get for kind of putting logs through. So a good example is on the screen. I had this log group and I have all these logs, right? This is actually a Lambda that I just get to print as an example. But what it is I pay for all the bytes that go through CloudWatch, okay? So then you need to ask yourself, do I actually need all the data that's putting in there? So a customer actually was telling me that their biggest CloudWatch spend was this log group for a Lambda function, and it was a catalog. And what it was doing was almost identical to what I'm doing here, which is it was printing out every single item in the 2 million entry catalog. So every time it ran, as it ran, it printed out all of them. So like, think about it. I've only got 1 million on this. No, I've got 1,000. I think 10,000 I've got running through this. But they had 1 million. And so it would just go and go and go. And then I asked the question, if you're debugging that Lambda function, will those logs actually help you? Just a list of catalog items. And they were like, oh, no, we have to sift through it and find the error. And so we were like, okay, so maybe we could take out that processing, and immediately it will cut their cost because they're no longer printing information that they don't need access to. So
I think that kind of questioning whether or not it's that exact question is really key in understanding like what you can keep and what you can't, right? Just being thoughtful about what you actually use. It's the same thing with storage. Like, are you actually going to look at these things? Who is using them? What are they using them for? What are they trying to get out of them?
Yeah.
More times than not, I feel like when customers actually sit down and think about that or talk to their developers about what's helpful and what's not, they find that they can cut out quite a bit and bring that cost down or store things for less long. Obviously, like depending on what you're looking at, right? There can be compliance reasons for certain things, but did you see that?
No.
Why are you like this?
Onto storage, actually. That's a good segue because on here, you can actually see some storage. So this is a perfect example of what Savannah is talking about, which is, if you look here, I've got this Lambda EKS workshop, and I've set the retention for the CloudWatch log group is never expire. So this is an example of where Amazon has created your log group because you didn't specify anything. And therefore, we've set it to never expire because we don't want to delete your data just in case, you know. Would you want
when I see the words workshop or like sandbox or like quick start, like anything like that, and never expire, I'm in The Exorcist. I'm possessed.
Savannah is throwing shade at the EKS team. So yeah, exactly. Oh, question. Have I watched the Harry Potter movies? No. Oh, Halloween. Sorry.
Halloween movie. Also, no, you hate scary movies.
No, I'm a wimp. I like Halloween Town or Hocus Pocus. definitely a Nightmare Before Christmas. Well, it's a Christmas film, but debate, is that a Christmas film? It is. No, I have not, because I'm a baby.
I just marathoned all the Saw movies, so
Yeah.
yes.
Anyway, so what you can do is you can change this. So what's happening is, just to clarify, we keep jumping up, I'm sorry, everybody. So if you are seeing this in your account and you might think, well, what can I do? Can I delete that? So if you go into your action, you can change retention, and you can change from never expire to one of these different values. The benefit or the goal here is to think, okay, how often are my logs being created? And then put your attention based on that. So if it's happening every day, maybe you only need like 2 weeks of data. If it's happening once a month, maybe you need 4 months of data. Check with your compliance teams, but you don't have to store this unnecessary information. So feel free to change and save it, and it will immediately start deleting data that you no longer need. Okay.
It is
one
quite
more
fun to see, like, if all of your things are set to never expire and then you change them all at once, just to see that big drop off when everything suddenly goes away, and you're like, yes.
If you do it, like, guys,
satisfying.
if you're doing it, send us an email, customization@amazon.com. Send us what you're thinking. I see people in the chat are talking about movies. So in the chat, put your favorite Halloween film. Mine is Halloween Town. Yeah, Halloween.
We've got a really good question in the chat, which is, what is a frequent AWS practice that is the equivalent of he who must not be named?
Ooh, so like, what one's the most damaging? Interpret like that.
Oh yeah, okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
For that, I would say, provisioning an ODCR and then just leaving it forever is pretty bad. Again, configure a budget alarm to go off if there's the ODCR unused box usage type. That one is not so fun.
That's an interesting question. Let me put this back up. So what would be my one of these? I'm trying to think if there's, because there's like random examples of where you enable stuff and then you forget about it. So kind of deploying a large like cluster or like a metal or something like that. So there's those kind of things. I'm trying to think if anything has popped up. I think I know, maybe something that's like a bug that goes unnoticed in other ones. So like some kind of process where it like spams it. So it's not a huge thing, but I saw one the other day that a bucket in a customer had 500,000 MPUs. And I in a sandbox account, and I was like, there's a bug. So that's actually a good segue into the S3 one. So S3 is a big one on, let me change to S3 on this Cost Explorer view.
Standard storage only, also pretty not good.
Yes.
Do not like that.
And supply. So mine's kind of changed now, so I've got a little bit better. I've got a couple of different things going on, some requests and whatnot. So, but my spend is still like growing over time. And what's a really good example is using S3 Lens to see how you can fix this. So if you go onto your S3 account and you go on the left-hand side, you go to dashboards and you go down into, someone's favorite movie is Charlie Brown. Is that an American thing? That is an American thing. I've not seen it.
That's an American thing.
Sorry, the classic English person. And in here, so just to clarify, MPUs I mentioned a second ago. So MPUs are multi-part upload, and they are what happens when an object is too big to be passed through to your bucket. It gets broken up into smaller chunks, and then you upload the parts, and you reassemble it back in the S3 bucket. If something happens in the upload process and it breaks and only some of the object gets up there, then I kind of think of like, Charlie in the Chocolate Factory when that kid gets like put across the thing. That's a good way of describing it. Imagine he just like didn't recreate himself. That'd be creepy.
I went a bit of a different direction. I was gonna say I feel like incomplete multi-part uploads are kind of like ghosts, like actually a little bit like ghosts, because they're like kind of there, but they're kind of not. They're just stuck in the realm in between, that they're not through the veil,
I like that.
No,
that's the new
okay.
definition. No, I like That's good. It's like half gone through. I love it. Okay. So what happens is then if you put if that ghost is living in your S3 bucket, you are going to pay for the stuff that's in there. So incomplete multi-part uploads, they don't necessarily cost you a ton of money, but they are one of those things that can indicate a problem in your bucket or storage process, or just some money that's being spent. So you can even see on mine, I've got a kind of spend on here. So if I go onto my buckets and I'm going to search for my incomplete multi-part upload bytes, and I'll scroll down in here. This is all actually from a lab in S3, which I will share a link below. But you can see here that this bucket, which is the Lens Workshop data lake, has loads of them. It has almost 2 gigabytes of incomplete MPUs. So I'm paying for storage that I can't even access or utilize. So it's not even that kind of relevant or important, but I am spending money on it. So you can so easily go and change that. So if I even go to this bucket, let's do it live. Do it live. And I go to S3 and I find my bucket. Where'd it go? Lens. What was wrong with my bucket?
That's really haunted, actually.
Ooh,
spooky.
That's weird. Okay.
And
then I
uploads in the ghost bucket.
Uploads in the ghost. This ghost.
Stop doing that. I like underestimated how scary it would be.
Okay, so all I'm going to do to get rid of these MPUs is create a lifecycle policy. So let's just call it Ghostbuster. And I'm going to do across the entire account. And we're just going to focus on the multi-part uploads. So delete expired or MPUs. Delete. Oh, I think it has to be bigger than 1. Create rule. Boom. Done. That is all. I mean, what did that take? Less than a minute? And Ghostbusters.
It's even quicker than calling them. You like that one?
That was really good. I'm sorry, everyone. We were like, this is going to be professional. Not. There's some. What's the chat?
Steph, I'm in a wig. There's an upper limit to how professional it's going to get.
Oh goodness. Okay. I know we're coming up almost at the end of the session, so I have. Oh, what time is it? Okay, I have one more Twitch poll that I wanted to do, which is: are you dressing up this year? So 1 for yes, 2 for no. Pop it in the chat. Yes, I am kind of dressing up. So yes. But yeah, 1 for yes, 2 for no. Let us know. Even let us know what you're dressing up as. I would love to know. I'm always inspired by people. I just was saying, how many people are going to be Barbie and Ken? You know, that's going to be the thing of the summer, the costume of the Halloween. I think.
Costume of the summer.
Yeah, costume of the summer. But yeah, I was going to go as Greta Gerwig. I was considering going as that because I have a boiler suit. But
you can tell them all what to do.
Yeah, just go around to the Barbies. Just get a clipboard and be like, Barbie, be more Barbie. Ken, you're enough.
If anybody needs a last minute costume, I think we've established that multi-part uploads that are incomplete are pretty scary. So
yeah, I mean, I like the idea of dressing as a ghost, but saying that you're an MPU. I think I might do that. Workplace Christmas party. Halloween. I don't know. I guess I'm tired today. Okay. So everyone's dressing up. I love it. That's great. Okay. So I realized, so we did at S3. I realized there was one thing I was missing with my CloudWatch, which was detailed monitoring. So I'm going to choose a random box and see if I've actually enabled it. Instance settings.
Got to get that extra fancy view on Compute Optimizer.
Yes. No, that's a memory.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah. So detailed monitoring. So this one's enabled, so it's good. But I just wanted to just jump on this as a quick thing. We've seen a lot of customers really optimize on CloudWatch is where they've disabled detailed monitoring for services that don't need it. So for example, this is a jump box. I don't need any monitoring in it because all I'm doing is using it to get somewhere else. If you've got any dev accounts you're not using, you're not testing on, do not enable detailed monitoring unless you are debugging. You are charged for this, and also it will increase your monitoring range from every 5 minutes to every 1 minute. So you'll get an influx in data as well. So please, please, please be careful not to do this. So that's just a small thingy. Is that I'll be going as a
great costume. Sorry.
I love it. No, that's great. Okay, awesome. All right, we're at time. Thank you so much for putting up with our crazy Halloweenness. We've had the best time. Check us out. We're here next week. We're going to having Idlis come on to talk about evangelizing FinOps next week, so I'm really looking forward to. Have a great Halloween. We will see you all next time. Have a great